So in this video, we'll be talking about Python loops. So if you heard about loops, for loops, while loops, we'll be covering those in the section. Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Promise AK, and on this channel we help professionals navigate through data sciences, machine learning, artificial intelligence, or any other technological advancement. If you're interested in data sciences, machine learning, learning Python, or any programming language, this channel is for you. So just click on the subscribe button and on the notification bell so that you're alerted whenever I post any new video. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support so far. Thank you for always coming to watch, and yeah, just continue to like, share and subscribe. Share with your colleagues, your friends, and anybody you think can benefit from this content. So in my last video I talked about Python if statement, and in this video we'll be talking about Python loops, and there are two types of loops. We have the while loops and we have the for loops. While loop executes a set of statements repeatedly while something is true. So you continuously repeat an information or repeat a certain state of statement while something is true. While for loop, you just iterate through an iterable. An iterable could be a list, a string, a tuple, could be a data frame. We'll go into all of that later. So the way a while statement is written, it's almost something like your if statement, but in this case you use while. So let's just specify our x equals to 0 for now. So it's okay, while my x is less than 10, print x. You get, so while my x is less than 10, print x. Then if you go to the next line, you see something like type x plus equals to 2. That's called an incremental iterator, right? So it shows that, okay, initially my x was 0. So you say, okay, add and let my x now be equals to 2. So if I'm going through that loop, the next time my x will now be 2 plus 2 will be 4. If I go through the third time, it will be 4 plus 2. So it's like incrementally increasing the value of x by adding 2. So you say while x is less than 10, print x. So then I use the incremental iterator. So the first time my x is 0, so it prints out 0. The second time we go through the loop, x is not 2 because my x has been added, 2 has been added to my x, right? So it's not 2. When it's going through the third time, my x will be equals to 4. When it goes through the fourth time, 6. When it goes through the fifth time, 8. So at the time it's going through the fifth time, my x is now 10. And I ask if as long as while my x is less than 10. So when that condition stops being met, that iteration stops. I hope you get what why. So while this is this, do this. So if that condition no longer holds true, it stops. So let's try another example. So say let my x equals to 0 now. So say while x modular 2 is equals to 0. Remember, if you go through my Python arithmetic functions, the modular sign shows the remainder. So if I say x, let's say 10 modular 2 is equals to 0 because 10 divided by 2 is 5 with no remainder. But if I say 10 modular 3 to give me 1, because 10 divided by 3 is 3 remainder 1, so it returns the remainder. Say x modular 2 is equals to 0, that means it's an even number. So when you divide x divided by 2, there's no remainder. So that's what that x modular 2 equals to. If while x modular 2 is equals to 0, print x is an even number. You get, so this is, so I continually add 2. So this will continue running forever. So I had to stop it because x will be always, since I'm adding 2, x will always be an even number. So it continues, even if I get to 1 million, it continues running that because x would always be an even number. So this loop will never end given this condition. So definitely I have to stop. So maybe I use your stop sign to stop it. So if you go at the top, you see run, you see the stop. So you click that square button, click on that to stop that cell for running, because this is going to run to infinity, because as long as you continually add 2, it's continually going to be an even number. That makes sense, yeah? So but in order to break this loop, let me show you what you could put an if statement inside to break, or put a break statement here. So let's try something else. So now I said I want to include an if statement in a while loop. So I say let's do x equals to 0, while x modulus 2 is equals to 0. You understand? Print x is an even number. Yeah, but if x equals to 20, you break. So just continue adding until your x gets to 20, then you break this loop. So you notice when I run it, when it gets to 20, it stops. Notice the difference between this and the first one. The first one continually running. So now I'm putting a break. When this condition is met, break the statement, and that's where it ends. Now let's go over to for loops. So you could loop through numbers, list, items. So let's create a list called fruits with different fruits in it. So I can say for f equals could be for, it could be anything. You just pick any letter. It could be from A to Z. For this in this, print this. So for f in fruits, print. So using that f, it could be anything. So most people just like using the first item, the name of the variable. I could do for I, or so it's whatever you put data to record. So it does not have to matter whatever you put. Just make sure you remember what you use. So you say for f in fruits, print f. So now my f will be the individual. So for f in fruit, so it goes through everything in fruit and print everything. So the first item in my fruit is banana, so it prints banana. It goes through again. The second item is pear, it prints pear. It goes through again. Check the third item. So for f, so that f is the item. It indicates the individual item in the list. So that's how you loop through a list. That's what your for loops are for. It will be for something in a range of something. It prints out in the individual. So you could try it out and to see what you have, and if you have any question, also put that in the comment section. Okay, so I could also do a nested for loop. So there's what we call nested for loop, where you have including a for loop inside a for loop, or an if statement inside a for loop, right? So the way you could have nested if statement. So if I have if and also have another if statement inside that if statement, is called a nested if statement. Yeah, but for for loop, we could also have nested. So you could also have if statement or while statement inside a for loop. I hope that makes sense. So you could say for f equals to, for f in fruit, so now we are doing, it will be I in fruit or x in fruit, so whatever you want, just be consistent with whatever you do. So for f in fruit, if f is equals to mango, print something. So yes, mango. So you go through each of them. When that condition is met, it returns, it does that. So now you're giving it to condition for this in this. So it goes through all of them. When it gets to mango, you print. But if there's nothing like that in your list, nothing will be returned. So you see, when it gets to where mango is, you say yes. So initially, remember the first one, it prints everything. But now we are putting a condition in it. So don't give me everything. Only print the mango if this condition is met, right? So that's what that means. And yeah, it prints yes, mango. We've talked about combining a for loop with an if statement. So now let's write the nested for loop. So that's including a for loop in a for loop, right? So let's see. So now we are for looping, what if that makes sense, a fruit. So you say for f in fruits, you print the fruit. Also for I in f. So remember that the f now in that fruit is a string. So you could also run that string through a for loop again. So if, for example, it's like saying for the first item is banana, I can say for I in banana, print I. So you now start printing the individual element in that. So now combining two for loops, so I'm for looping through the first one, so through the list, and inside each of the list, I'm going through also another for loop to go through all the item in each of the item in the list. I hope this does not confuse you at this point. So if you are confused, just try writing something and see what it returns. I hope this makes sense, and I hope you've been able to follow through. So if you are confused, don't worry, it's normal to get confused. Just reach out to me, put your question in the comment section, and yeah, let's see how we could help you. And like I always say, the best way to learn is to follow through, because you get to experiment things on your own. Thank you so much for following through this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and yeah, see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.